There's a couple of comments on Gary's book. You know, we were teasing Gary yesterday with his lists. I actually have 2 more lists from Gary's book.
Oh, wonderful. I love the list.
And it makes yesterday's list look interesting.
Really?
Yeah, I don't even understand the new list in his audiobook. But comments on Gary's book. I have to say that Gary's book was great. I enjoyed everything, including the record world stuff. He's a regular guy with an interesting story to tell. The stuff about his brother Stephen was very honest, real, and very sad. I have a 19-year-old son who is gay, and I'm proud of him, and I love him. But I also worry about him. Gary articulated so many things that were on the money. Way to go, Bowie. Let the haters hate. Your book was a triumph. Here's another guy, Rob, and I read it over the weekend. I read the whole thing. It was excellent. I loved all of it. I cried in the section about his brother and his father's death. Gary is the greatest guy ever, and if he were my son, I'd be so proud of him.
Wow.
Well, what do you think of that? Well, I know Richard and Sal listen to the audiobook.
I love to watch John Hine fuck my wife, Mary.
No wonder they're so close.
They're very, yes. Everything is with John Hine. John Hine this, John Hine that.
Bent over with my hands on my knees, I needed a dick. John Hine draped his arm around my shoulders and whispered in my ear, fuck me. My body was like rubber, and my legs were shaking.
Oh, yeah.
Then he stood behind me, and John Hine's balls bounced off my body. Ugh! It was a great day, everything I wanted it to be. My son gave me a huge thumbs up.
Wow.
Yeah, Gary and John Hine are very close. Gary's in love with John Hine. I love John Hine, too, but not as much as Gary.
John Hine's huge dick hurts Mary's tight little snatch.
So evidently John Hine, according to the book, is fucking Mary.
He gives it to her really good.
Yeah, and also gives it to Gary really good. John Hine's a real stud. He's gotten very heavy, though. I was walking behind him coming in to the building yesterday, and John Hine wears this big masculine leather coat.
Oh, yeah?
It's a big black leather coat. It's very tough looking.
Is it long or is it a jacket?
It's almost like, remember what Rocky wore in the movie Rocky 1 when he's he's walking around and he was a tough guy.
Okay, yeah.
It's like one of those mobster leather jackets.
Like a three-quarter length?
Yeah, three-quarter length.
Oh, yeah, that accents your ass.
And I was walking behind him. I go, Jesus Christ, they must have killed 87 cows to get this fucking piece of leather.
I heard was what
I mean, and he's a big, I'm looking at the size of his legs now. His big, thick legs. Like a big guy.
Well, at least he's eating all the cows they used to make the coat.
Yes, he does. He eats the entire animal. He uses the urine to hunt for other cows. He's something else.
I love sucking John Hine's 6-inch dick, and we fuck so many 8-year-old boys.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Wow.
Every year, my dad would fuck me and my brothers to the old-timers game. That will make you a fan for life.
Right. Well, there's something about, not about John Hine. But, yeah, we busted Gary's balls yesterday about his lists. And you pointed out, Robin, this list with Gary's jukebox favorites. It seems so absurd to me. But people liked us reading all of these different bits of Gary. Howard, you and the gang riffing on Gary's music list was hysterical and brilliant. More so than Colin Quinn's quick insights. I laughed so hard I made my 6-month-old baby cry.
Oh.
Those lists and Gary's crack-smoking, marble-mouth cadence solidified my suspicion that if he was not attached to you, he would still be working at the record store. How does Mary listen to him all day long, every day? Here's another one. Can Gary please provide a list of the top 10 songs that sound unbelievable on an elevator?
I know people are proposing different lists he could do.
Well, this guy says, I know you love to bust Gary's choppers, but the jukebox songs, it's actually a good idea. There are certain songs that do sound better on a jukebox, although they are probably more place-based than sound-based. I don't know, dude, don't ask me what that means.
He's a guy who Gary and could have a really good conversation with.
My point is, I probably think that of all the people who potentially could buy Gary's book, 3 of them might be interested in Gary's jukebox list. These lists, I think the book is very good. I've told Gary that.
Yes, absolutely.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
In fact, it's a laugh a minute. But, it seems like he now I understand. He once pitched a book of lists. The book never got picked up by any publisher. And he crowbarred in.
So these are 2 books in one.
Yeah, he like in the middle of the book, it's just like, I remember when Beth was reading it. She was like, what is this list? It's a list of songs that Gary wants to listen to on a desert island. I said, you're kidding me. I didn't see that in my version. What is that?
Yeah, because it wasn't in the...
Right. And she said to me...
compilation you read.
She goes, I turned the page right. I don't care what he listens to on a desert island. It doesn't make any sense. He claims because his whole book's about him working at Record World and he listened to music all the time, it makes total sense. It doesn't.
Well, again, he talks about how important music was in the family, that everybody listened to music. Everybody had their own music. They belonged to the Columbia House Record Club.
Do you know anyone who was ever a member of the Columbia House Record Club? Do you?
We joined every time for the free songs, and then we canceled.
Well, I mean, who the hell joined? They had the worst records in there.
No, you could actually, eventually they started carrying the Beatles. And,
did they?
Yeah, that kind of stuff. And so you joined to get the 6 free songs, and then you'd cancel.
So then he starts in, and here, I have the audio of this. This is, I zone out on this. I defy you to listen to this list and understand why it would be important to you. This is Gary's greatest storytelling songs, bad storytelling songs.
Oh, I know what this is.
Earlier in the book, I talked about how I used to listen to AM radio in the early 70s, and I would listen to Casey Kasem all the time, and there were songs that, you had to listen to the whole song. They told the story. There was the verse and the chorus and whatever, but you had to get to the end of the song to hear how it all turned out. These aren't great songs. These are just sort of the...
So you're in the middle of hearing how crazy his mom was, that his brother is ill.
And he stops to tell you this.
Yeah. It's like a commercial break to lighten up the mood.
You need some relief.
Yeah.
I've been telling you such a sad story.
Here's
some
something,
relief.
Here, now you can make fun of me.
One of the greatest bad storytelling songs that I can remember. So, in no particular order, The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia by Vicki Lawrence. Billy, Don't Be a Hero by Bo Donaldson and the Haywoods. Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves.
I mean, what is he doing? I don't know. He drives me nuts.
I know how it relates to the book because he does tell a story about loving Casey Kasem and the era of the music, the songs that told stories, and how you couldn't turn them off because you had to listen till the end to find out what happened.
Wow.
But nobody needs a list.
But, I mean, that's a stretch what you're saying. I hear you, but, I mean, my father's dying. Let's play Billy Don't Be a Hero. I mean, what is that? Here's my list of songs that have bad stories.
Now, these aren't good songs.
Yeah.
So why bother with a list?
I don't know. He made when did he make this list? And why would he make this list? I mean, who cares? Of all the things to make a list.
Because these are songs you should avoid, is basically what he's telling you.
It's Billy Don't Be a Hero, Don't Go to Vietnam?
It probably was. I mean, I don't...
It wasn't Don't Go to Vietnam.
He went to Vietnam, he gets killed, and at the end, I think his wife doesn't give a shit that he's a hero. She just wanted him to be alive.
Right. See, that gave me the chills. So you don't like that bad story. What's wrong with that story?
Seriously, Robin, thank you. I'm painting a picture of an era when I used to listen to that stuff, and those were the songs of the day.
Oh.
Those were, like, when you listen to AM radio, those were those bad storytelling songs. I'm not saying you liked them, it's just what was going on at the time.
I see. You're painting a picture of the times
I
that
think
you lived
Robin
through.
sort of got it, oddly.
Yeah, well.
You think I don't get things?
She gets it, but she doesn't.
No, you don't verbalize it when you get it, because why help me?
Did you read the lists when you were reading the book? Or
No.
I have a question for the author.
Yeah.
Was Frank Kramer's Last Kiss on that list at any point?
No, I mean, there were a lot of songs.
I never heard of that song.
Oh, that's such an awful fucking song. That's probably a little before Gary's time.
Was Harry Chapin on there?
It might have been. Yeah, it's the last one.
Taxi.
Yeah. Also, Run, Joey, Run is on there. Remember that one?
How's that go? What's the story there?
The story was that she gets pregnant, and her father's coming after him with a gun, so he's got to run.
What about the Tallahatchie Bridge?
Tallahatchie.
Ode to Billy Joe.
Ode to Billy Joe.
I don't know.
The worst story ever.
It's one. It belongs on there. But, I mean, again, I could have filled 20 pages with bad songs.
Yeah, that should have been on there.
I don't know why a publisher didn't pick up your book of lists.
Me neither. The Harry Chapin song I chose wasn't Taxi. It was far worse. It was Cats in the Cradle.
That's what I meant. Cats in the Cradle.
Right.
No, not Cats in the Cradle. Taxi's the one where he's the taxi driver and she's the actress.
That's one of the Cats in the Cradle is another
And
bad
she's acting like... You didn't put Taxi?
No, he put Cats in the Cradle.
That's fucking stupid. Even the list is stupid as the list is.
You're arguing with the list.
I mean, oh my God.
Good for debate.
No, it isn't. Gary Delabate. Rhymes with debate.
By Cher. Oh, this song's so bad it'll kill you. Seasons in the Sun by Terry Jacks.
When he reads these lists, I hear those lips fighting to Seasons in the Sun. He drives me nuts. I'm not listening to the audiobook because
You can't.
I can't listen to him read a book. A whole book? I would buy the book, not the fucking audio tape. Seasons in the Sun. Seasons in the Sun. I can just picture those lips fighting. Oh, the audiobook's making me mental. I think I resent his audiobook.
You love the book. You hate the audio book.
I hate the audiobook. Oh, when he reads to me, I want to throw up. But and then he's got a Record World playlist. I don't even know what
Record World playlist.
This is another list.
Again, painting a picture right after each album. Record World, I go, these are the songs that were sort of big.
What are you, Van Gogh? You're painting pictures?
Yes, I am.
All right.
When I think of these songs, I just put together a list of songs that just remind me of working at the record store.
I mean, what does that mean? Songs that remind him of working at the record store.
It means these are the songs when I was working in the record store that everybody came in to buy.
So in no particular order.
Robin gets me.
She gets you, but she knows it's idiotic. There's no need for this. We get the picture. You grew up at a certain point in history, and we get it.
Robin completes me.
Only Time Will Tell by Asian. Every Breath You Take by The Police. Billie Jean by Michael Jackson.
But he reads these lists, and here's my point, I guess. Who cares? He's reading to me.
It's just a list.
It's a list.
Listen, I do have to say, there's 6 or 7 lists in the book. They're like a page. Maybe.
Right, I understand that.
It's a huge book. It's like for Beth, I totally understand. It's not Beth's thing. Just turn the page.
I have a list of songs that start with the letter E. I mean, what is the difference between this list and that? What is the difference? Why not do songs that start with the letter R?
The list of songs that
Give me
start with
10 songs.
Hold on, you asked a question.
All right, give me 10 songs that start with the letter R.
But the list of songs that start with the letter R have nothing. Don't paint the picture of anything in the
sure
book.
they do. When you were working, when you were growing up, what were the songs that started with R?
Runaway.
Go ahead. Give me 9 more.
Round and Round.
Yeah, I mean, this is all fucking stupid. Round and round. Round and round. Roundabout. I've been a roundabout.
He's doing it. He's putting together a list.
He's got a list. What?
Run Around Sue.
Okay.
Roundstone Cowboy?
Round Here.
Roundstone
Round
Cowboy.
Here.
I'm not saying these are songs I
And
like.
that could go
these
on
are
the
songs.
and that
No. These are songs that will start with R. I don't necessarily like them.
That's my favorite part about every list.
Right.
I'm not saying these are good.
Right.
I'm not saying that they're my favorites.
Right. They're not even like, he doesn't even give a shit about these songs.
These are actually very shitty songs.
Robin. Read Our Love.
Read Our Love. Golden Earring.
House Blues.
That's going in the paperback, that list.
How about a list of songs that started with R, but also the band's name started with R? Work on that
Round and
list.
Round by Rat.
Say again?
Round and Round by Rat.
Right. Very good. Good. Go work on that. Because everyone wants to know that. Songs that start with R, that bands also
By bands that
yeah,
start with R.
That's right. Very. What was the hit by the Rockets?
Who are the Rockets?
Detroit's very best.
But
Rockets.
I don't think it was an all song.
All.
It has to be an all song.
Flashdance, What a Feeling by Irene Cara. Down Under by Men at Work. Sweet Dreams Are Made of This by the Eurythmics. Do You Really Want to Hurt
This is making me mental. This fucking book. I wish this book would go away already. It's making me mental. I never heard. How did the author, the co-author, let him get away with this?
It was a group effort. The editor was about, the author was about, everybody liked it.
Now, you didn't make up any of these lists. You already have these lists?
I did already have these lists. Well, some, no, I take it back.
Do you have a list? Remember when you were?
I did have to make them up.
Remember when you were fucking that girl at NBC? You know, the Snow Bunny?
Yeah.
What songs were popular during that period of your life? Why not a list there?
I could have done that.
Right.
You know, Robin, I actually had the list, but not the songs to go with them. So then when I decided that I had to come up.
Why didn't you make a list of songs that were popular when your parents first met? So that we could understand that era, too. Can you put that together for me?
Sure.
Good.
Well, yeah, but why not the best makeout songs? Or does he do that?
Oh, yes.
If I had the best makeout songs, you'd be like, well, what the fuck is that in your book?
How about, are there any songs about making out with a guy who has really bad breath and giant teeth?
How about the songs that we played at NBC while I walked back to the hallway with you? I could have done those.
How about the songs that were popular when we flew back from Los Angeles after the Arsenio Hall show and you slept the whole fucking time when I needed to talk to someone and I upgraded you to first class?
How many times do I have...
Where's the list of songs? My mother got electroshock therapy. Here's a list of songs that are about electroshock therapy
Back
at
in
that
the
time.
50s, they used electric shock. Here's the songs of the 50s.
Here's a shocking song. I mean, what is that?
I would have done Venus, Shocking Blue.
Very good.
Or Electric Avenue by Eddie Grant.
These are good songs. I'm not saying they're good songs. I'm saying they're good songs to get electroshock therapy to.
Or how about Power Station?
Right. That was
Some like it hot.
especially on their head.
Exactly.
Right. My mother was getting electroshock. This will paint a picture of the times. Painting pictures. It's like second grade. Good Lord. What a book. This is some fucking book. I'm going to be on this book for months. I'm sorry the show's ending in 19
That's
shows.
right, because we'll have to meet alone and talk to ourselves about the book.
When my dentist gave me my first set of caps that Howard found offensive, these were the songs that were being played at that era. I'm not saying they were good songs. What are you saying? What are you saying?
I love, because the list isn't really saying anything.
Nothing. It says nothing.
By Culture Club. Come On Eileen, Dexy's Midnight Runners.
Come on, Eileen. Dexy's Midnight Runner.
Come on, the Snow Bunny.
This is songs that remind them of being at Record World. What the relevance does that have?
Hungry Like the Wolf, Duran Duran. Boy, this is like a who's who of WLIR new wave music from the early 80s. Let's dance.
Now, what does that mean to somebody living in Kansas?
No, it means nothing. 20 people understand that. Now my next list are the following songs that Mary's brother loved in 1987.
Here's what was popular when I met Mary.
Yeah. Mary and I fell in love to these songs. Now, I'm not saying these are great songs, but we fell in love to them.
I'm not saying I like this.
I don't love this song, but Mary loves these songs. These are songs Mary loved when we fell in love.
Smoking in the boys' room, Motley Crue.
Let's Dance, David Bowie. Oh man, this one always reminds me of the store. Electric Avenue by Eddie Grant.
There you go.
She Blinded Me with Science by Thomas Dolby. Africa by Toto.
Oh, and that bad music behind him? I feel
That's another thing, because the music behind him has nothing to do with the music he's talking
I had
about.
nothing to do with putting that music on.
I feel like I'm listening to Entertainment Tonight with a really bad announcer.
Sold a lot of those. Der Kommissar by After the Fire.
The Commissar is also on another list in the book. I don't know if you know that. That is a song that reminds me of when I had to get home and give the kids their bath and then vacuum the house for Mary. The Commissar.
Now, here's a list of the songs that appear in more than one list.
Right. Here's a list of songs that appear in other lists in my book. The Commissar and
Billy, don't be here. No.
Asia.
Gilbert O'Sullivan, that one. That appears
It's on
everywhere.
every list.
Asia's on every list.
That's in bad songs, also songs that remind me when I worked at the record store, and also tell a bad story. Your fucking list. Did you put a lot of thought into your list? Like you wanted to make sure that you didn't leave anything out? Did you go through like volumes of lists of songs and then narrow it down?
Somewhere in the middle. I mean, I didn't like labor over it, but I did. I spent a lot of time on them. I'll say that.
You didn't labor over it, but you spent a lot of time.
It wasn't like I went through. I didn't pull out books and go through every song from the '80s ever made.
So you could have left some out.
But when you decided on Cats in the Cradle rather than Taxi,
Yeah, what was the thought process there, and how long did that take you?
Cats in the Cradle probably a bigger hit, probably more widely known.
Really?
Of course, he never knows what a fucking hit song is anyway. He's completely confused.
That wasn't. I'm telling you, what? Just because
You don't even know if how do you know if Cats in the Cradle is a bigger hit than Taxi? You don't know. Did you look up the sales?
I can look it up.
Look it up.
I'll look it up right now.
Yeah, look it up and peck away with one finger when you look it up.
Oh, man.
Fucking guy drives me nuts. He had to write a book. It's making me crazy. Here's a list of songs for when you get very bored in Las Vegas, because he's the only guy I know who got bored in Vegas. Why not a list of songs when you got bored in Vegas? And why didn't you write about that? I'd like to read why you're bored in Vegas. That's the book.
All right, would you like
They should have let me pick the topics for the book.
Harry Chapin, Taxi.
Go ahead.
Went to number 24.
All right.
Cats in the Cradle, number 1.
All right. You got me. There you go.
He's
Here's
jumping up and down.
And by the way, that's also on my list of songs that are good to sleep to at work to. When I'm falling fucking asleep.
I can't believe he has a Billboard book. He still loves lists.
He loves lists.
He loves counting records.
Look what's a bigger hit.
Totally. There's no doubt about it. That's like the happiest day for me, to be correct on
All
shit
right.
like that.
You were right. You're not wasting that high IQ for nothing. Now, a new list, Robin.
Yes.
These are songs sung by people who look Jewish, but who aren't Jewish. All right. First one is the guy from Canada, Geddy Lee. Very Jewish looking, but he is not Jewish. Right, Fred?
The captain in Captain and Tennille. He looks Jewish.
By the way,
but
Geddy
he
Lee's
is not.
He acts Jewish. He's always wearing that giant yarmulke on his head.
Geddy Lee is Jewish.
Geddy Lee's Jewish?
Yep.
Uh-oh,
I said
he fooled me.
He did look Jewish to me. Geddy Lee is Jewish? All right, here's a list of singers in rock bands who are Jewish and look Jewish. Geddy Lee. Wow. Here's a list of guys who don't look Jewish, but are Jewish. Billy Joel. He doesn't look Jewish, right?
Yeah, he does.
He does? Oh. See, these lists are harder than I thought. But that would have been funny, those kind of lists.
Right.
You know. If I write another book, I'm going to have lists. Like Gary. God. What are you doing there? What are you licking? You're moving your tongue inside your cheek. What is going on there? What are you trying to do? Clean your teeth?
Breakfast. There was you really want to be gross?
Yeah, so you're-
There's not even a tiny piece of egg in my gum.
So you're using your tongue to clean out your cheeks?
Well, it's better than my finger.
Right. No, good. Okay.
By the way, I just got a note from several people. Billy Don't Be a Hero is not about the Vietnam War. It's about the Civil War.
Ah.
Ooh.
You should have known that, Casey Kasem Jr.
Did you listen to the whole song?
I did, but I didn't know. You wouldn't know that. It's just about war.
I want to finish my list of when Gary was working at Record World.
Yes, these are the songs
These are the songs
that remind him
of the record store.
the Record World era.
Putting on the Ritz by Taco. I hated that song, but it always makes me think of Record World. The Safety Dance, Men Without Hats. Oh, this was a big one. Mickey by Tony Basil. Rock This Town by the Stray Cats. Our House by Madness.
He loves his music.
Is he naming every song they played? This is a long list.
I don't even know how much more.
I'm
I think we have
reliving the entire 80s.
I think we have
This is every song.
I think we have another full minute of over a minute.
Rock the Casbah by The Clash. Photograph by Def Leppard. Here's one I bet you forgot about. Pass the Dutchie by Musical Youth.
I'm gonna kill him. I love you, but what are you doing?
What do you mean? Write a book.
Writing a book. You think you have another book in you?
I was thinking about that the other day. I'm not sure.
I left out Air Supply, Making Love Out of Nothing at All.
I'm happy your book's doing well. Please don't misinterpret this, but I don't understand the list.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I don't expect you to love every page of it.
All
And it
right.
is doing very well, by the way.
That's wonderful. No, I think it's great. The lists are bizarre.
How is it doing? I mean, like, where are you on? Are you a number one? Are you?
So I find out tomorrow night at 6 o'clock if I made the New York Times list and if I did where it's at. But for the first week, I was number 5 at Borders nationally and number 5 at Barnes & Noble and number 7 at Borders.
Wow. Well, you have to be on the bestseller list.
I would think so, yeah.
Doesn't your publisher think so?
Nobody wants to say anything, you know.
They don't want to jinx it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it'll be in the top 10, but if it's in the top 5, I'd be thrilled.
Right.
It's not going to be number 1 because I think that, what's his name? Keith Richards. I think they said there's literally 500,000 books they printed.
You really think people care? Like, I've read enough about Keith Richards from the excerpts to know basically what he says.
I got to tell you, I read the
I don't really
excerpt
care.
in Rolling Stone, and listen, I'm a pretty big Stones fan, but I just thought he was sort of arrogant, and it didn't make me want to buy the book.
Yeah, I agree, because if I'm reading about the Stones, I don't want Keith Richards' point of view, who's completely fucking coked up out of his brains, who thinks that he's way more important to the Stones than Mick Jagger. I just don't want to hear that.
I wouldn't mind hearing his point of view. Just what I read of it, I didn't like.
I need somebody to synthesize it and say, yeah, okay, I interviewed Keith, I interviewed Mick, and here's kind of what we came away with. I don't know.
Well, this is a biography. I mean, it's an autobiography, so you're getting only Keith's point of view. I mean, and I think that's important to the record of who the Stones are.
Don't you
More importantly, are songs that were popular during Gary's years at Record World.
That's true.
Want Me, the Human League? God, did that song get played to death. Abracadabra by Steve Miller.
I like when Gary comments on the various songs.
Yeah.
God, that song is...
That's what you do for the audiobook.
Yeah,
man.
I love that.
Want a little bit extra.
It's a bonus.
The bonus.
Oh.
But these are all songs that remind him of Record World, and every once in a while he'll say, "This one really reminds me."
Yeah. I like when he does that. He's giving you additional information that's meaningless. Like if he said something like, hey, that was a song, like a fact, that was a song that sold more songs than the history of the Billboard charts.
Right.
Nothing. He goes, that was a song that really reminds me. Boy, they played that song a lot. I mean, it's like meaningless shit that he's throwing in. Those are the extras.
675-309 by Tommy Two-Tone. We Got the Beat by the Go-Go's. Caught Up in You by 38 Special. I Ran by A Flock of Seagulls. What a horrible video, by the way.
What a horrible video, by the way.
Oh, yes, I remember that video. You're right.
Here's a list of songs that John Hine fucks me in the ass to.
The devil went down to Georgia.
Hold on. Before we go further,
Yeah.
That's not a fact. That's just a comedy fact.
Right.
Kids in America by Kim Wilde. Edge of 17 by Stevie Nicks. Sunday Bloody Sunday by U2. Girls Just Want to Have Fun by Cyndi Lauper. God, we sold a shitload of that record.
Oh.
I love the comments. God, we sold a shit out of that. Throwing around the shit word. Wild. So loose. I tell you, I think after I leave the radio, I think Gary's going to be back working at Record World. I think he wants to work at Record World.
There is no Record World.
He's going to stand there. He's going to be the guy who just waits for it to reopen. What am I going to do? No Howard Stern show and no Record World. The fuck's he going to do? I just want a list of all the comments he makes about the song. There isn't one. Oh, we sold the shit out of that record.
Because now I'm wondering, okay, so these were the best sellers at Record World, or were these what he had to listen to while he worked at Record World?
This is what he remembers being. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm confused now.
Right.
What are we listing?
We're listing songs that remind him of working at Record World.
But why do they remind him?
He doesn't say that.
Now he's thrown in that Cyndi Lauper sold a lot.
Yeah.
So he remembers it for that reason. Why does he remember Der Kommissar?
Every list.
You want to go back and listen to this list again and hear his comments? I'll do that.
Owner of a Lonely Heart by Yes. Steppin' Out by Joe Jackson. Uptown Girl.
He seems to wait 3 or 4 songs before he comments.
Before he comments, yeah.
Were those ad-lib comments, or did you have them written down?
Read the book. No, they're ad-lib.
Ad-lib as you're going along.
In the book, they just list.
In other words, all of a sudden something would grab you and you would ad-lib. I see.
Girl by Billy Joel. Family Man by Hall & Oates. Come On Feel the Noise by Quiet Riot. Harden My Heart by Quarter Flash. And Burning Down the House by the Talking Heads.
No, that's it.
That's it. No more comments.
No more comments. I missed the comments in the beginning.
Blew through the rest of them, though.
Yeah. He didn't have any comment.
I had nothing to say about Quarter Flash. It was the chick and her husband.
See how much fun you can have with Gary's audiobook?
Was there any reason for the order? Was there any reason for anything?
No. There's no reason for this book. I'm telling you, these are the ramblings of a mental case. I mean, he's saying his mother was mental. I think his mother's fine. He's mental.
Take him in for an evaluation.
Here's a list of songs I think you'll really enjoy. This is a list of songs to listen to while you're making lists of other songs.
Kiss on my list, Hall & Oates.
Here's a list of songs with absolutely no meaning to me and no connection to my life.
Tom Jones, Delilah.
Does he ever make a list of things he likes?
Theme from Deliverance.
My book is different. This is a list of songs. This is a list of songs. This is a list of songs I've never heard.
Here's every song that was played in the year that I worked at Record World.
This is a list of songs I heard once and then didn't like, so I've never heard them again until I wrote this book.
Can't you see? Marshall Tucker Band.
You've only heard that once, Gary?
Yeah.
Oh.
I only needed to hear that once.
When we were playing the greatest bad storytelling songs, did he make comments? I don't think we listened to all his comments.
Oh, maybe not.
Yeah. Want to hear his comments?
Yeah, we didn't even get through that list, I don't think.
Right. I couldn't get through it.
Earlier in the book, I talked about how I used to listen to AM radio in the early 70s, and I would listen to Casey Kasem all the time, and there were songs that, you had
Do you really want to admit that?
to listen to the whole song. They told the story. There was the verse and the chorus and whatever, but you had to get to the end of the song to hear how it all turned out. These aren't great songs. These are just sort of the greatest bad storytelling songs that I can remember. So,
Oh, good. This is a good list.
This is the best of the worst.
Surprised when David Letterman and Matt Lauer interviewed him, they didn't ask
They didn't
about
go
this.
for the list.
Right. Hey, where's that Desert Island list? Gary makes a lot of comments on that one.
Does he?
Yeah, I think so. And the jukebox list, too.
Because now the Desert Island list is a list that he really loves.
Yeah,
These are songs he loves.
Yeah,
They're all on Gary page 2 in yellow.
These are all the songs and albums that hold up.
All right. Here's his Desert Island list. I'm just listening for the comments.
Yeah.
so these are 10 records that if I had to go to a desert island, I could only bring them with me. What would I bring? Well, no surprises here. You know I'm a huge Bruce Springsteen fan, so I would definitely bring Born to Run. It's my favorite of all his records, and it was just a time and place in my life where I could just go from the beginning to the end and love every song on it.
What?
In other words, every song on there was good.
Yeah, but it was a time and place in his life.
Right.
Where
he
you
could do
could
that.
go from every song and just love it. What did the time and place have to
He's
do?
a fucking zero. I told you that. I hired a maniac.
That's a little harsh.
I mean, what the fuck are you talking about? It was a time and place where I could go to... What? Well, explain that. Seriously. What does that mean?
Actually, didn't hear the one you just played.
Oh. He was busy.
I was listening to another clip.
He was busy typing with one finger.
I'm listening to a clip for the show.
Okay, go ahead. I'll carry on in here. What does that mean?
It was a time and place where you could just listen to every song and love it.
Asia by Steely Dan. I really love that band, and I really love that record. And I saw them recently in New York where they played Asia live, and the record still holds up. London Calling, The Clash. I don't know what to say. You know, it's just something that that record came out, it was different than anything I'd heard before.
Oh, ponderous.
I love it. The
You
record
like it?
came out, and it was like nothing I'd ever heard before.
You think he would have been inspired to pick up a guitar or something? You know what I mean? Like, isn't it weird? Like, he's so into this music. And there's not a musical bone in his body.
Yeah, wouldn't you want to go work for Steely Dan
Right.
and help them make that music?
Like, if the guy was writing a book and it was My Life on the Road with Steely Dan, then I'd say, okay, the guy was in the music industry.
Give me your list. Tell me the different playlists from the different eras.
And I go back and listen to it a lot. It still holds up.
I like that comment. He goes,
Everything still holds up.
I don't know what to say. And then he starts talking for 10 minutes. I don't know what to say. He knows what to say.
Well, Asia holds up, and this holds up.
And it's still good today. It holds up, and it's still good today. He always has something to say, even if he has nothing to say.
Hotel California, The Eagles. I know I'm pulling out hit records here, but what can I say? Every song.
What can I say?
Here we go. I'm going to say something.
I don't know what to say.
But I'm going to say it.
You can have a lot of fun with Gary's new audiobook. Trust me. You can do this at home. You get the home game.
Everybody, get them all around the...
Get around the fireplace and sit there and put on Gary's audiobook and just listen.
The song on Hotel California is amazing. I just got a remastered version of it, and it still holds up.
That still holds up, too.
Thank God.
You're right. Every song.
Everything holds up.
Right. But this is all
What
his
does
opinion.
holds up mean?
Means that he can still listen to it, and it still sounds contemporary.
No, it doesn't mean
Oh.
that at all.
What does it mean?
It means he likes it.
Right.
It holds up for him.
Well, it's his...
My buck, who else would it fucking hold up for, idiots?
But why say it holds up? You're naming songs, you're naming albums you love. We already know that.
This is bonus comments, Robin.
Thriller, Michael Jackson. I can already hear some of you going, "Wham, pussy, shitty Michael Jackson." But you know what? It's a great record. And as spoken about earlier in the book, when I was working at the record store, it was just
As spoken about earlier in the book.
As spoken about earlier at the record store. Does Michael Jackson hold up, Gare?
It does.
Yeah.
the pivotal time of my life, and every song on the record is a hit. I know some of it's overplayed to death, but the record still holds up.
Still holds up.
Well, what was the pivotal time?
I could listen to every song, and it would,
still holds up.
It still will hold up.
The Eminem Show by Eminem. I know what you're thinking. How the hell did that one get in there? And in the book, I wanted to write parentheses, and I thought I had mother issues. It's a great record. I listened to it. You know, he's angry. He speaks from the heart. And a lot of rap I don't like, but this record I like a lot. The next two sort of go hand in hand.
He's so deep.
Do you know why he likes the Eminem record?
No. Because he doesn't
After
like
all of that.
Because I listen to it while eating M&M.
No, because
But here's the deal.
Yeah, why don't you like?
You don't have to make when you make a list. You don't have to expand on.
Well, why did you?
Why
You're
make a list?
expanding, but
You're the
we
one.
don't go anywhere.
you're expanding, but we're not learning.
Every list.
All of your comments are,
You're asking a question.
but all of your comments are irrelevant.
To you.
No, but I mean, we don't understand why you like Eminem. We know you don't like rap, but you like this because it holds up. But
Even with the Michael Jackson, it was a pivotal time, but we don't find out what the pivot was.
I don't
It's in your head.
I mean, if Jesus Christ himself came back
Yeah.
and wrote a book and gave me his desert island list, I don't even think I'd care about that. And it's Jesus Christ's desert island. I mean, who cares about Gary's personal favorite list? But the
I just got to know, seriously, you know who says he loves the list in the book?
who?
Spider Harrison.
Oh, well, that's different. If he likes it, then I like it. I just like the comments and the explanations.
I
yeah,
do.
that's fun.
Because I can't believe them.
Hold on a second. Is it really 7:04? Holy shit.
Yeah, I've been talking about this for 45 minutes. Anybody bored?
No.
I thought it was 6:30.
Hey, Dan. Are you as fascinated by the list as I am?
No. Am I on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's really pathetic. Who puts a fucking song list in any book at all?
Yeah.
He wants to sell books and he got all these stupid fucking lists.
Well,
It's great. It's great for us, but it's fucking sad, I think.
Ned, go ahead. You're on the air.
Howard.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Ned in Albany. Hey, man, he just took all your negotiating power away with Mel Karmazin because he just gave you like 5 years worth of material,
Right.
about 2 years worth of song parody contests.
Yeah, now I can't. Now I can't leave the radio because
Right, look at this.
how could I sit at home and not talk about these lists?
You'll explode.
Exactly.
It's like I'll be sitting there with Beth going, I've got to go find a career because I need to go somewhere where I can talk about these lists. It's fascinating. It's fascinating.
You can do 3 days on air and then just record a day at home in your apartment. A whole fourth day is just going to be you talking about Gary and his list.
I like that Gary actually pitched a book years ago before this one to an actual book company that he wanted to just give a book of lists. Thank you.
Go find that manuscript.
Hey, Gary, why do you have a different Eminem album on your Deserted Island list in your book? Like, it doesn't match the audio book.
Really?
That's what somebody just handed me a note. Is that true? Do you have a... What is that, Jason?
On his Desert Island list, he has the Marshall Mathers Show by Eminem listed, but then on his audiobook, he says he has the Eminem Show listed, and they're two different albums.
Wow. Gary,
Wow.
how do you explain
Which
that?
one do you like, Gary? Now we're confused.
That must be I guess that's a mistake. There's a mistake. Somebody found a mistake.
What list do you like?
Which is the album you like?
I have to go back and look at that. I can't remember the name.
You're not a real
This
Eminem
is not
fan.
an authentic list.
I can tell you, it's the one with
He's got the wrong
it's
list.
the one with cleaning out my closet.
What?
Well, now we got to go look up the album.
It's the Eminem Show.
Okay.
Okay, so it's not the Marshall Mathers Show, it's the Eminem Show.
Uh-oh.
Baba Booey.
I've always thought of them as one double album. Revolver and Rubber Soul by the Beatles. They were released very close to each other. And
So you're bringing both of them on the desert island?
Yeah, but they're counting as one album.
You're cheating.
Because he's always thought of them as one album.
Yeah.
Well, you can't do that.
they're so similar, and I know everyone loves Sgt. Pepper's and everyone loves the White Album, but I thought these were the two records where the Beatles really went from being a pop band to becoming the band that we all know and remember them for. Eleanor Rigby, all of the songs, they're just phenomenal. Norwegian Wood.
So fascinating. Eleanor Rigby, Norwegian Wood.
Again, this is where they went from where to where?
They went from being a pop band to a what band? What did they do? Gary, can you... I
don't remember. You just played it.
What did you just say? They went from a pop band to a what?
I didn't realize I don't remember. I was looking
at a band we all remember them for.
Wait, I got to rewind that.
I love these records. From being a pop band to becoming the band that we all know and remember them for.
We all know and remember them for. He's fucking rambling. What the fuck are you talking about? When Robin laughs, it's the worst.
Oh, man.
When she cuts it, it's like, I see you can't
I don't believe she finished the marathon at all.
No, but really, you see what I'm saying? Gary just like went in that studio, and now he's talking to himself. And I'm telling you, sometimes I have conversations with Gary, and they don't make sense. And he says that I'm a ball buster. Well, what does that mean? What is the sentence again? Repeat that sentence, Robin.
I don't think she can.
They went from a pop band to the band we all know and remember them for.
Oh, my God.
Oh, God, I'm going to die from this.
The marathon didn't kill her. This list
I told you his book's funny. You said to me it's not a funny book. That isn't the same laugh you'd give when you saw my penis and it was small, is it?
Oh, my goodness.
You all right over there?
I'm going to pull myself together so we can get through the list.
You love the new book.
I love his comments. You know, the thing that's missing from the book is the comments for these lists.
If you got the opportunity to make an audio book, wouldn't you be extra careful to say something intelligent? Wouldn't
Why did you do that?
Why? Like, wouldn't you listen back to this and go, wait, I just made no sense? This is where they went from being the pop band to the band we all
know and remember them for.
He should not have ad-libbed.
Eleanor Rigby, all of the songs, they're just phenomenal. Norwegian Wood, I love these records. Live at the Fillmore, the Allman Brothers Band. Whenever I think of this record, I think of being in high school and playing on the football team, and how on Saturdays before the game, we could bring music in to sort of get us psyched up. And we would listen to, I know it doesn't sound like it would psych you up, but we would listen to the 22-minute version of In Memory of Elizabeth Reed. This is just a great record and probably one of the greatest nights playing.
Wait a second. That's the part where I did expand on it. Now that's funny.
We barely had time to play football.
22
Isn't it football?
One time we tried playing Mountain Jam, but it didn't work too well.
A lot of us got depressed.
Because that was from Eat a Peach.
Surely you love that comment.
It takes you 22 minutes?
To get psyched up for the game?
Oh, my God.
No. You put the record on, you would just listen to music while you were getting ready.
Right.
What is that song? I gotta know.
That's a great song. I love it. I'm gonna go play football.
Now I'm ready.
It holds up.
Tonight's playing live, it still holds up for me.
Still holds up?
Sinatra's Greatest Hits by Frank Sinatra. All right, I'm trying to make sure I'm not listening to the same type of music every day while I live on this desert island, but this was a record that my mom played every day when I was a kid, so I know the songs forward and backwards. I'm Italian. We have to like Sinatra. What do you want out of my life? But I really do. I like.
What do I want out of his life? I want nothing. Because he's Italian, he has to like Frank Sinatra. I don't know. It's enough with this. I've had it with this list. We're going to move on.
Yeah, we better move on.
Move on. You look so puzzled after every comment. Well, all right. Anyway, Gary's book is called They Call Me Baba Booey, and it's a bestseller.
And you have to, I mean,